Hello guys, so in today's session we would be learning about the data quality and data profiling. Okay, let's get started. First of all, we need to import the data set. So let's say I imported the data set. So there's the basic thing is that we will be able to perform this analysis within Power Query. Okay, so what I will do while importing the data, I will click on this transform data button so that we will be redirected to in the Power Query. So select this checkbox and then you try to click this. You click this transform data button. Obviously, you will be redirected in the Power Query tab. Okay. The next thing that you need to do is you need to understand where can you find this data profiling or data quality option and what is it exactly about. So you just need to click on this view ribbon, and within view ribbon we would be analyzing these three options: column quality, column distribution, and column profile. Let us first understand these three options one by one. So first of all, I'll click on this column quality. So what does it tell you? It tells you about the valid data, error data, and empty data. So the number of rows which has got errors, the number of rows which are empty. So it will give you the values for this thing. Okay, column quality. So for this, so before we analyze these things, it's the first and the foremost thing that you need to do is you need to ensure that the data type is properly mapped. For instance, if you see this has got text data, right? So this needs to be first of all rectified. I will change the data type to text. Okay, so likewise I will have to ensure that the column data types are mapped correctly. Similarly, age does definitely does not have to be in the text, so I will again change this to whole number. So like this I will keep on doing this for the rest of the columns as well. Okay, okay, income has to be to change to the whole number. Again, purchase amount, change type to amount, right? So that's, if that's an amount, then that's a whole number. So I think other things looks okay to me. Okay, so nothing else needs to be changed. Now we will start with the analysis. Let's click on the column quality first. So I'll click on the column quality option and let's see what does it tell us. It tells us about the three things: valid data, error data, and the data which has got empty rows. Okay, so it will give you percentage of the data which has got the issues. So first column has got nothing, no error, all good, 100% valid data. So let us analyze the same thing for all the available columns. Okay, so if we analyze this data and scroll it towards the right, you will find that income has got 2% empty value. That means some two, maybe around two values are there which are kind of an empty, okay, blank values. Okay, so now if we scroll down, we can see that there are certain values which has got no null values. No problem. How to fix this we'll see later. Let us first understand. Okay, similarly for other columns, if you see any other column having the issues, yeah, I think this purchase amount, again this column has got 2% of empty values. Is there any other error? No, I don't see any other error. So basically they tell this column, or let's say this column quality, it tells us about the errors and the empty values in the column. This is one factor. Second thing that we need to focus on is the column distribution. Okay, speaking of column distribution, it tells you about the two values. One is the distinct values and second is the unique values, right? If you see, there is an unexpected error, but we will look into that later. Right now let us first understand what is column distribution about. So if you have a look at this column ABC gender, this will tell you very clearly what is the column distribution about. So I'll tell you what this has got: two distinct values. Distinct means different values. How many different values? Male and female, these are the two different values. That's why it is saying two distinct. And zero unique. Unique means the values which appear only once within a column, those we call as unique values. Okay, for instance, if you see this column, name column, 95 distinct columns, that means 95 95 distinct names are there, but out of 95 different names are there, okay, but out of those 95 uh, different names, 86 are unique. What does that mean? That means 86 names appear only once, okay, which also means the remaining 9 names are duplicate. We will find the values, no, duplicate values for the remaining 9 names. So this is what it means, 95 distinct. As I said, distinct means different values, like, and unique means, the values that appear only once. Now how do you remember that? I'll give you a very maybe a stupid simple method to remember this, or so that you don't get confused. So uni means one, right? So with that you can remember that, okay, unique means one. So how many values that appears only once, those will be called as unique. And distinct is nothing but, so these many values are there, right? If you see the number of columns, how many number of columns are there? 105 rows are there. Out of those 105, okay, how many different values are there? 95 different values are there, all right, and 86 values out of which are unique. Similarly, you will find a similar kind of a thing for others also. So as you can see, when we talk about location, same thing is happening. There are 6 different cities. What are the 6 different cities? Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, right? So these are the 6 different cities, but 0 unique. Why is it saying that unique? Because if you talk about Delhi, is it the case that Delhi is just appearing once? No, of course not. No city is appearing once. That's why 0 unique values. So I think it's that easy, okay? You just need common sense to understand this. Alright, so I think we have got idea about the column distribution. Now let's talk about the column profile. Speaking of column profile, if you see now, let us see for the first column, okay? Now this has got the count 105, error 0, empty 0, unique values, min, max, okay, but min, it tells you somewhere there is a number in this, that's why it is showing 7, okay. If let's say there was no number in this column, then it would have shown alphabetically whatever name, let's say Anand is the name that starts with A, and if that is the only name that we tell, so alphabetically basically it will give you the minimum and maximum, which doesn't make much sense, to be very honest, for this column, these column minimum or maximum. But if we try to analyze for this column income, this is telling us about the income of the customers, okay. Speaking of the incomes, we are not able to properly see the data again because of this error, so obviously we'll fix this error, do not worry. But before that, we are just trying to understand what is this about, okay. So let's say if we talk about purchase amount, does it tell us anything? No, it looks like we have to fix it, and then maybe we can analyze it properly. So no problem, we will fix this. How do we fix this? Now, okay, so one way to fix this is that you just hover over this column, okay, and if you see, if you just hover over this, you'll see this pop up, and you can click on these 3 dots, and then you will get multiple options: keep duplicates, keep errors, remove duplicates, like that, okay. So for now, what I want to understand what exactly are the errors, okay. So I'll just click on the keep errors option, and then let's see what happens. So okay, I'll click on this error. Okay, JJ, so there is some value that is not a number, and that's why Power BI is not able to convert this to a number. That's an error, okay, we get it, okay. So what I will do, I will go back, remove this step, and let's say if you try to fix it, how do we do that? Okay, so first of all, kept error I need to remove. Then how do we do this? So one way to do it is, like I said, if you hover over this, you can just click on this remove error option. That is one way. Second is you select this and then remove the, so again, one more thing, I'll just remove the column quality, column distribution also let us analyze, okay, so that we get complete clarity. I'll select all the 3 one, okay. or at least these two are required. So I'll remove this one. Now if you see, error has got 1%. Okay, so I'll just click on this remove errors option and let's see what happens. Okay, maybe it has got removed. Okay, maybe it removed one row, because earlier there were 105 rows, now there are 104 rows. Okay, so now we'll do the same thing for the empty values as well. Okay, so what I will do, I'll again hover over this and see that there are 2% empty values. So what I will do, I'll again click on this remove empty button, and it should also remove the empty no rows. And if you want to see what are the exactly where are there really empty rows, you can either scroll down, and while scrolling down you will definitely find the see null value. Okay, and there is null. So there are two null values, that's why it is showing. Okay, if you let's say have the huge data and cannot scroll, then you just click on these three dots and then click on keep errors, and if you click on keep error, then you will be able to see what are the columns that has got empty values. Okay, that is another way of doing it. So the next thing that we have to do is, I'll just remove this kept error button right for now, and I'll just, without making this more complicated, I will simply hover over this and remove the empty columns. So again, if you notice, once I click on this remove empty button, you will see maybe the number of rows would decrease. Yeah, let's see. Click on this. As we expected, 104 to 102, so 2 rows decreased. Similarly, we need to analyze the data for other part as well. Do we see any problematic thing? Yes, age has got some issues. So let us hover over this column, and again we'll do the same thing. I'll click on the remove error button, and it should also remove one of the row. So I'll just, okay, as expected it has been removed. But now if you see, the data looks more clean. Now we do not see error in any of the column. Let us see if that is the case with all the other columns. Yeah, just this column again has got some issues, and again we'll do the same thing. Okay, I'll just hover over this remove errors, because obviously the count is very less, so I can do this. Okay, it will not question the integrity of my data if I remove such small number of rows. And again, purchase amount has got two empty values. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you guys. Okay, so purchase amount is, let's say purchase amount has got two empty values. So now let us try to analyze the column profile. Okay, because I think we did not analyze it. So if we try to analyze, we can see that count has got 100, distinct values 22. Okay, we understand that minimum is 0, maximum is 70,000, and we also know the average 24,183, and we also know the standard deviation. We know the odd even values. Okay, there are no odd values, all values are even only. Okay, ending with 0. Now say there are two values which are empty, right? And let's say we want to fill some data with this, so we can either remove that, or if that makes sense to your data, what we can do is we can put the average 24,183. This is the average, right? So I can replace the empty values with that number. So I'll right click and click on replace values. Okay, and I will replace those empty values with 24,183, which is an average, so that it makes sense to the data that I am preparing. So I'll keep it blank and then 24,183. So this is null, and I'll click OK. Okay, now null values have been replaced and we do not see any error. So I'm just telling you the alternate way. If in case if you do not want to delete it, this is also the one way to handle the data. So but speaking of the column profile, what does it tell us exactly about? Let us see that as well. So now if we try to analyze column profile, that tells us about the count, errors, empty, distinct, unique, 0, minimum is 0, and the maximum is 70,000. Okay, average is 24,183, and the standard deviation is 20,901. This data is making sense when we talk about purchase amount or when we talk about, let's say, income, same thing. Let's see for income, what is the average income, what is the maximum income? So minimum is 0, maximum is 1,20,000, average is 87. So there is one guy who has got income as 0, so which is not the correct data, right? So what we can do is we will select, replace 0 with the average value, which is 87,600. So what I will do, I'll just right click this, and then we want to replace the income of the 0. So let's try this. Okay, right click, replace values, 0, 87,600. I'll click OK, and I think it must have got changed now. Okay, now let's analyze the column profile now. Okay, let's analyze. Now as you can see, the minimum is 50,000, maximum is 1,20,000, and average is 80. Now this is making more sense. Earlier the minimum was 0, which was not making any sense. Okay, so you see we are this basically these tools allows the data analyst to make the changes directly without having to manually perform the many changes. So that is why these utilities are very useful. Okay, because that saves time for the data analyst. So I hope this has given you a fair bit of idea about these column distribution, column quality, and column profile. So basically we were talking about the column quality and column profiling. I hope this will help you. Thank you so much.